What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do? What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do? Let's talk about it, the problems we face. Let's fight hatred, no time to waste. The mind is naked, we can see it without an x-ray. Life is easy if we work together. We're the keepers, we're the people, we're all equal, filled with purpose. The past has pain, it'll drive you, even make you take aim. But together is where we should aim. Together is where we should. What are we here for? What do you truly want? When change is not enough, what do you do?
Welcome back to another edition of the Cool Podcast. My name is Rex45, and we're here every day, pretty much, in and around the world, I have to say. Lots to talk about in MotoGP, World Superbike, a little bit Moto America stuff as well as I catch my breath. Want to bring the guys in and introduce them one at a time, and we're going to dive right into it because this past weekend, if you're a World Superbike fan, it was pretty cool to watch. If MotoGP fan, pretty cool to watch. You may not have liked the outcome, but neither does the riders. So we're going to dive into it. But with no further ado, let's get it cracking. TJ, man, welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. How you doing, Rexy?
You can catch my breath, man. I mean,
Yeah.
while the intro was playing, I had to run around like I had no sense.
Well, you made it back just in time, it looks like.
Made it
So,
back just in time. You know what I'm saying? What's good with you, man? How's Boston?
man, it's getting better. Still cold, but it's definitely riding season. I see some bikes out there, from the lower CCs now to the Harleys to the 1000. So I can say that it's officially everyone can get out there. Potholes kind of cleaned up, but sand and salt and snow for sure is gone for right now. But
Right. Gotta keep them eyes moving, man. Gotta keep them eyes
yeah,
moving.
for sure.
No doubt. Reese, man, welcome to the show, man. How you doing tonight, man?
Man, what's going on, man?
Ain't nothing, man. I reached out to my peoples. I think we can get you some bodyguards, man. What's good?
Hey, man, it pays to be a little bit like a somebody, It pays to be a little bit,
Just a
like the old
little
days in college.
just a little bit, man. What's good, man? Everything good? Coda was good for
Ah,
you in person?
Coda was good. It was hot. Long weekend, a lot of people, lots of fans out there. It was a good turnout. Some good racing, some big crashes, Moto 2, MotoGP. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But it was some good racing.
No doubt, man. Definitely. Well, fellas, I mean, we're in just completed the third round, second round of World Superbike. I gotta get my stats up as unprepared as I am tonight. But I have to say, man, I mean, when you looked at the end of the day on practice on Friday, with all the practices, you would have thought the weekend you would have had a different outcome. You know what I'm saying? So, like we always do, let's just go around the horn and talk about what you thought about the overall weekend, and then we'll dive into the nuts and bolts of the whole weekend, and who's at fault? Did these penalties matter? Are they doing too much? All that fun stuff. So we start with TJ, man. What's good, man? What you thought about the overall of the weekend, Dakota?
Man, I thought it was third round is kind of what it's supposed to be. It's the season's growing and everyone's Coda's a great track and points starting to really matter. But to start the weekend, it was pretty much a mess. Like a lot of crashes and everyone trying to get their feeling right. And at one point, Jawan Mir is in first place, and I mean, like it's that time wise and stuff like that. So it was a lot of unusual things happened, especially like people crashing on celebrations, people crashing on warm up laps. Yeah, it was just a lot happened, but it was a pretty fun, exciting weekend to watch all the classes. So.
Nah, I agree.
And they had the baggers too, so
Oh
that's
yeah,
another
yeah,
thing.
yeah. No doubt on MotoGP level, pretty wild. Reese, man, what do you think of the overall weekend? You heard TJ talks a little bit. I mean, on Friday at FP2, Jorge Martin was in first place, Marquez second, Bagnaia third, Bez, Digia Acosta. But it didn't end like that, man. What are your thoughts?
It didn't end like that. I mean, there was a lot of crashes in practice. What was it? Friday was a little cool. It was real cool that day. And then Saturday was back to being hot. Sunday was dang sure hot too. No, I'm sorry. Saturday was cool. It's a little cooler. But trying to figure out the different tire compound. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, there was if you didn't notice, I don't remember what turn number that is, but I know coming over the hill, getting ready to go to the backside, getting ready to go to the back straightaway. There's a huge bump that they kept complaining about, and you can see where Marquez crashed at. There was a huge bump there. So I'm like, it's almost time for that track to get a little resurface or get a little friendly touch up. But there was a lot of crashes. I mean, I've seen a lot, and we just got to get Jorge Martin not to crash on celebration. Make sure he brings the front wheel down straight. But
Dude, does that not bring you back to like, middle school when guys are trying to show off in front of girls and they get into a place on a bike? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, we all crash and like Rocco Landers did it, lined up at the grid and stuff like that. But like, what do you guys think about that, man? That it's definitely not a good look. Probably shouldn't do it anymore. PJ.
I mean, like we saying, he needs to keep his cool. You know what I'm saying? Like he's in a tough seat right now, and like I said, he just needs to show winning results, and that's it. And yeah, no, he's really excited that he got the win because the way he got it was pretty intense. It wasn't really handed to him, so he had to work for that. So I feel him on the celebration, but you know. A long wheelie down the straight. Yeah, he's in like fourth gear, like accelerated. Like I don't know. It's just wasn't smart on his part. I'm glad he's all right though because he does not need another injury.
No,
Especially him, top the championship. Uh, so, but yeah, no, that was not smart on his part, and I'm sure he won't do that again.
no, I don't think so. I mean, Reese. I mean, he's not. I don't remember Jorge Martin being one of the guys that's wheeling. Even when he was winning in Moto 3, Moto 2, even when he was winning when he won the title, he wasn't wheeling. So I mean, I can wheelie a bicycle every day, all day, one hand. I might even still be able to do no hands. But on a motorcycle, I'm not trying to wheelie on a track, much less down on any road. I mean, what do you tell somebody like this, man? I mean, stay in your lane.
I mean, it's almost like staying in your lane. If you actually look at the wheelie, before that, like he did a small wheelie on the front straightaway. And if you look, the front wheel was kind of cocked and he almost lost it. And then he did the same thing on the back straightaway a little longer and it came down and that was it. But he did say in the fence, if something locked, he couldn't turn the bar, or something locked up and he couldn't turn it. But I mean, at that point in time, if it did it the first time on the front straightaway,
Right.
what would make you want to do it on the back straightaway at that speed? Like, let's not do this and just keep it going straight. Because I know if that was my guy and that's our crew member, man, listen, I think we'd have been pissed. Like, you got me staying here late after a win and I want to go celebrate? Nah, I'm gonna kill you.
No doubt. No, I feel the same way, man. It's not a good look. It's just like when Bez and I forget which one of the other VR46 Academy riders were celebrating when they were in Moto 2 and they both fell over. It's the kind of thing you want to stay away from. But let's talk about Q1 and Q2. Furman Aldeguer and Mir came out of Q1. I mean, these guys look at different times. They look pretty quick. Like a lot of these bikes were. I mean, and they were all pretty close in times. I mean, let's be fair. They weren't. It wasn't a stretch like we. Not to say we thought, but I think some people were hoping that Marquez was gonna, set the bar different coming to Coda and stuff like that. Your thoughts about Q1 and Q2. Digia came out and pulled it out, but the Aprilias, I mean, I hate to say, but I did say Martin, Bez, or Agura. These Aprilias, man. I mean, they were looking pretty good. What your thoughts, TJ, on Q1, Q2?
I mean, Q1 for sure. I mean, it was good to see Aldeguer get to the top, and definitely Mir, because the struggles Mir's been having, and for Aldeguer just to come back off of injuries, still walking around with a crutch. It's pretty impressive, the speed that he's caught up to with the lack of training or lack of testing over the winter. So for them to move and see a Honda and Aldeguer get to Q2 is pretty good. Thing is that at Coda, it's like 2 minutes a lap. So with the 15 minutes, you really have no time to waste. So no mistakes at all. But I was really impressed by Digi, from him bouncing back from the last round to this round, just staying at the top level. So really impressed by that, and Bezecchi definitely holding his own.
I agree. Reese, what are your thoughts, man, on Q1, Q2? Digi being the strongest Ducati rider like 2 weekends in a row. It's fair to say. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts, Reese?
I mean, I was very impressed by Digi. He was very strong the weekend. So I was definitely impressed by his riding style. He was very impressive on lap times, very consistent. So that was very shocking to see over any of the Ducatis. And hindsight, Mark is still Mark, but he is still kind of battling an injury, still trying to get his strength and still trying to find out his way on that bike. But he did show some impressive maneuvers and pace during the race. And Aldeguer was pretty impressive still with his injury. And Agora, and that kid was very, very impressive over the weekend. Him, Baz, and Martin, all the Aprilia guys were very, very impressive. Even Fernandez was impressive. Yeah. So I got to hand it to them, all four of those guys that rode. They were very impressive over the weekend.
Right.
And I was in turn 15, so.
Oh, I got one more thing, Rexy, though. I'm impressed, though, with Pecco. To see him, pretty much at the top of the sheets all weekend and actually riding pretty well. So I thought he did.
You're impressed by him crying?
Well, I'm just saying, we first saw Jerome Mir get a track record. He hasn't been up there in a while in the qualifying, and then switched to I think Pecco and then back to Digi. But it was cool to see Pecco up there because he was ahead of Mark. I mean, obviously Mark had his problems, but that was also finally to see him step up a little bit. So
right. Let's talk about we'll talk about the sprint. We'll talk about Mark and Digi, and we'll talk about Pecco and Martin. Since you brought up Pecco, Reese, I mean that pass was, That's like being accosted at the club at like 1:59 before it ends by somebody that scares the hell out of you. I mean, come on, that pass, like, I know Martin is hungry for one, right? He's hungry for one, right? But like, come on, man, you could have done it. You could have done it differently, right? Is it just me?
I mean, if you don't want to get past, key thing, go faster. Just go faster. I mean, what else do you want me to say? I mean, if you look at the,
he stood the guy up. Come on.
Now, okay, so we want to talk about that. I mean, but if you look at it, Martin and I'm sitting there in turn 15. Martin had the pace and speed over Pekka coming down that straightaway. What do you want him to do? Now, saying that, if you're going to say give Mark a penalty for that pass on Acosta, then Martin should have got it.
See, I don't even have to do the show, man. I mean, you already know what I'm gonna say, right? Because it is kind of like clear as day. Like, come on. I mean, what we're saying is, if Mark would have kept it up, he wouldn't have got penalized.
Right, and that's where, as Lewis would say, the inconsistency of the stewards. I mean, if you look at the pass, Mark did get past Acosta, or a Digi. He did get past Digi. He crashed on his own, and Digi ran into the back of him. It's not like he pushed Digi wide or anything like that. Digi still had the line, but you
I said this from the last round, right? Mark is starting to take risks. Last year, he didn't have to, right? I mean,
he's trying to take risks. He's trying to figure out the limit of his shoulder or his injury. He's trying to figure out the injury, the limit of it. He is taking a little bit more risk, but that pass wasn't as bad as Martin.
Okay, all right. So Martin should have got penalized for that. And
right.
Okay, what are your thoughts?
Because Martin did physically stand Pekka up.
Oh yeah, he did.
He physically did stand him up and bump him off his line.
Yeah.
So if you're going to give Mark that penalty, then Martin should have got the same penalty. Okay. But apparently he didn't. Why? Because they both stayed up. But that's unfair.
It is, yeah. And so to your initial comment, you got to at least say something. I mean, even Michael Jordan said something.
Yeah, go faster. I mean, let me just say go faster in that game. Then you wouldn't have had that problem. We wouldn't have been in that situation. Okay, so in that fairness, yes, Pekka has a little bit of an argument, but at the same time, what was the gap?
I don't know.
There was a huge gap. It was like, what, 3 seconds or 2? It was a gap.
Ladies and gentlemen, I rest my
go faster.
A season and a half.
I mean, Pekka was on a soft tire and Martin was on a medium, so he definitely had more pace, and I think it was just the wrong corner to do it, even though he didn't have much time. And I also think the stewards were just so busy this weekend that they just couldn't get to it in time or something like that. But I think if they were really consistent, that should have been a penalty, regardless if it wasn't the last corner, because that's what Mark and Acosta, they got the last corner to the finish line. Well, It was before the last lap, but I don't know. It's just I think they should just be more consistent. Like Reese said, if Mark didn't fall and Digi didn't crash into him, I think it would have been just a whoa, what was that crazy moment, you know? Igor dove into that same corner. I forgot on who, but it was very tight, very close. Nothing happened.
Well, he was Digi in the main race, right?
I forgot who it was, but
at the mechanical. Yeah, that was beautiful. I mean, it was.
It was. It was.
I was like, oh, man. Yeah,
it's just a consistency, though. So yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, no, he's coming along, and I feel bad for the. We said this on the show. When it's a mechanical, you feel bad, right? Because and for for Agura, who was coming through the pack, like it possibly could have been a Pro Year 1, 2, 3.
No, it was going to be a Pro Year 1, 2, 3 because Agura was he was starting to gap people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nah, he was definitely moving. It's unfortunate for I think Digia because of the crash with Marquez. I mean, granted, even though they got penalized, it's unfortunate because this is 2 rounds now, right? That he's had some bad luck. Let's talk about the penalty that Bez got, and was it Luca for riding slow against Mark? And I think it was either, I think it might have been one of the qualifyings or maybe FP2.
Or was it Bassanini? Because I know Bassanini was going slow too.
Was it? It might have been. I know Bez was one of them because he got the 2 grid pushback, right? So he started on the 4th row of the race, and who started 7th on the race? No, it might have been Bash. It's either Bastianini or Luca, but I thought it was 2 VR46 Academy riders that both got penalized for that. I don't know how much you saw Reese on a big screen. Like, because to me, I didn't feel like Bez was going that slow to be penalized. He wasn't going fast for sure, but he like we have seen Morbidelli go slow.
I mean, I saw it, but when you saw Mark coming into the line, Mark was there, and I swear it was Bassanini.
Oh no,
but he sat up.
And Mark had an issue where Bastianini was mad at Mark.
Yeah,
Mark impeded him.
Something like that. But I know somebody stood up. Somebody sat up, and I was just watching. I was like, "What the heck happened?" So,
what are your thoughts, TJ, on the Mark and Bastianini and Bez? I think it's Luca. I think it was Bez and Luca, but
there was so many impediments in that practice. I think it was like 6 riders involved. There were like 3 defenses, but
right.
It's just all these riders are just trying to stay close as possible to try to get a draft that's a long back straight, and it's just that extra 10 because they're all running the same 201, 2 minute 201. So every 10th matters. So when one rider just slows down just a second, someone just gets mad, but there's a lot going on, like the penalties that is just shuffling around the grid. I don't know if it's really worth it. Like I said, we've seen Morbidelli going super slow. These riders know how to take a sharp line if they have to. It's just if they feel like they lose like 1/10 of a second, they're upset at somebody. So
right.
it's just hard. It's just you don't have enough time to get around to make another clean lap like that. You burn your tires, so it's just you get frustrated. So I think it's more frustration if anything.
I'll give you one. I did see a lot of impediment coming through the S's. Like there was a lot because if you don't make through the S's, there's a straight runoff that goes straight onto the other side. So when they were just doing it a lot of times, they weren't missing the S's. It was trying to see how deep you could watch them to see how deep they can go in to go straight, and they'll just say, okay, I can go this deep, but instead they'll run straight to the runoff and just going out to the other side. But when you go out to the other side, the guy coming through the S's is right there behind you. So boom, you just did an impediment right there. Right there, you did an impediment, and they were all doing it. I was like, Jesus Christ.
No, man. The penalties. I hope they get it sorted out. Let's talk about Aprilia a little bit more. I mean, 1 and 2 in the main race. Bez crashed out. We talked about Agura a little bit. Doing what he's doing, and Fernandez. I mean, it's pretty impressive. I mean, let's talk about like Bez's crash in the sprints, right? Because he's thrown away. This is the 2nd round now that he's threw away some points. In the sprint, and this, even though Marquez is not 100%, and Ducati might not be 100%, he's not the type of person that's not going to go all season and not still try to get something. So you can't give away points. I mean, what are your thoughts on Bez, his crashes, where he's finishing in the points, and then just Aprilia overall? We'll go with TJ first.
Yeah, man, he's a master at the GP race. Like he's very impressive. That's what's holding him down right now. I definitely have to figure out what's going on with him in the sprint. I don't know if he's just trying to get too much of a pace in the beginning, knowing that it's shorter laps. But overall, Aprilia has been very impressive, and it's really good to see that all four of them are doing pretty well, especially Jorge Martin, to help get all the good data and basically get all the points. But he's flirting with messing with his own championship after the type of season he's had last year and going into this year. It's kind of like this is his chance in a way, but you can't just throw it out. He's been in first place, I think, most of the time as well. So like this is kind of something that Pecco used to do.
Right.
He just can't get into that mode. He's gonna have to adjust and try to like result to top 5 or something, because the sprint is only the first place to get 12 points. So you got to get at least something out of it.
Right. Reese, do you think that Aprilia can sustain this kind of run all season? And if you're in the box, I mean, what are you telling Bez on these crashes? Because I think Marquez figured that out early on last year and stopped crashing as much as he was at the beginning of the season. What are your thoughts, man?
Well, I think that Aprilia can withstand this all season. I mean, from what I saw, yeah. I mean, from what I saw over the race and over the weekend, I mean, the Aprilias are strong as hell. I mean, they are one of the strongest on the grid right now. So I think they can withstand and keep this pace up all season. With Bez crashing, and there's 2 different races. There's a race within the race, and there's a race being out front. Everyone can, when you're chasing the rabbit or chasing someone or behind someone, it's a lot easier. But when you're out there in front and you're by yourself, it's a whole different race, because you're trying to, you stay focused, keep that pace, hit your marks. You can think a little bit more. So it's a different race within itself once you're up there out front. And I think with Bez, it's almost like you can watch him. He's pushing. You have to actually, and a lot of guys, from being on the crew side, a lot of riders don't pay attention to their board. They don't see it. They just go. They'll just blow by it, and they'll take a look at it maybe once every 3 laps or once every 4. Sometimes it's good to take a look at that board, because if you actually notice, you can have a little bit of a gap, and you can maintain that pace and kind of bring yourself back down. And I think that's what Bez has to learn how to do, is maintain a gap and just maintain a pace, not try to push so much, because it's almost like a mental break right there that he lost, because it's like he just tucked the front.
Right.
That was it.
Now, at the end of last season with him winning, I did pose this question, and I don't remember who laughed a little bit. Is he the closest thing to Rossi coming out of that VR46 Academy? Because I mean, he looks like he's having fun, even though he's crashing. Like when Bagnaia was winning, he didn't look like he's having the fun that Bez is having. Well, and Rossi had fun when he won.
Want me to answer that one, T?
Well, let me also say this. He's now set the record for leading the most laps in MotoGP history. He's won 5 in a row now, so he's in the record books. I mean, I know he needs like 4 titles. I know that, right? I mean, that's going to be what he's missing. But right now, the boy looks good, right?
He looks good. I'm not going to say he doesn't. As far as close to a Rossi, I mean, if you want to consider the flamboyant part, yeah. He wants to be the flamboyant in front of the camera. Yeah, that's a Rossi. The way he rides, it almost reminds me of a Simoncelli.
Okay. I can see that.
The way he rides and he's aggressive, it reminds me of a Simoncelli.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay. All right. What are your thoughts, TJ?
I mean, if you want to compare him to Rossi, I would say he's probably the best, closest since him. I really think he is having a lot of fun. I feel like he built up his fan base and trust in teammates and stuff like that, where they kind of like want to give him the package, and he's doing really well with it. And like he even said himself, he's having a lot of fun in the paddock. And like you said, he married his bike. He's he won 3 Grand Prix in a row.
5.
He's led the most last. Well, I mean, like the GP race.
Right.
Um,
They,
oh
like I
well,
said,
yeah, the last 5.
they
Yeah,
don't
you're right. So,
right. Well, weird, but
um, but yeah, I think he's having a lot of fun, and the best thing is the bike's working well. So I mean, the results are showing. So Valley was having a lot of fun. Every time he win, he had the crazy celebration, and I think that's what's missing. But he got slightly a little bit of it with the beginning of the year with the marriage of the bike. So hopefully more to come, but we'll see.
definitely. I like the crowd dive in a little bit there. Let's talk about Martin before we move on to the other manufacturers. Last week I said, can this man? What can he do to stay with Aprilia? Because at the end of the day, I think it's a win-win if Aprilia can keep him and they stick around. I know they're going to 850 next year or whatever the case may be, but he's sure looking pretty good to say, hey, maybe we can forget about the bad times. What are your thoughts? Well, 1 week is not enough. 1 round is not enough. See you at the summer break. Start with TJ.
I think he's showing a lot. There's a lot of riders who's been injured, and it takes them a while to pick up pace, even if the bike's not 100%, keeping up with everyone. But he jumped right in after being injured, like 3, 4 times in a row, and to show that he could be top 5, top 3, get a podium. Um, yeah, you gotta be considered. I mean, yeah, they had a lot of bad times before that, but time heals all wounds.
Winning helps.
And winning helps. So as long as he don't do any stupid things like wheelie celebrations, so I think I think he'll be in good shape. But if it's a tough decision on Aprilia, it's like they know what they're going through and what they went through with him, and then they're like, damn, he's winning. But
Right.
we still have bad blood, but he's winning. So you get somebody else like Juan Mir or something, and then like what? It's just
Listen,
crashes all year. So
yeah.
I don't know.
We're seeing, NBA, NFL, NCAA coaches win titles and get fired, or players get traded after winning a title. Grudges are that's the root of all things, man.
Yeah, I know.
Go to war. What are your thoughts, Reese, man? I mean, come on. I mean, would you, if you were in the paddock, are you starting to talk to the CEO there of Aprilia? You're like, are you sitting here like, man, I ain't putting my job on the line yet for this guy?
I don't know. I mean, it's still like, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I mean, they could keep the stuff in house. Maybe they could have came to an agreement or came to term. Maybe they could have buried the hatchet. But it's going to take a lot of humbleness from Martin to come to apologize and to be very humble, because you left a bad taste in that manufacturer's mouth.
Right.
Yeah, winning does help. It does show. But at the end of the day, are you okay just because you're winning? And if something goes wrong, are you gonna go back to the media and splatter the name all over the place?
Right.
So that's they look at it.
And you also didn't help make the bike do what the bike is.
Right. Bastianini did that. You just kind of piggyback off of Bass, and now you're like, I'm taking the winning ways and showing this. So,
right.
You didn't come in from the jump and help. You just pretty much bashed the bike and said, kind of screw Aprilia.
Yeah, no, I agree. You said Bastianini, but I know you meant Bez.
Or Bez. I'm sorry.
They're Italians, man.
They all got the same name with a Z or an S. Jesus Christ,
right?
So
they're both short and both look like little kids.
I know we're going to move on from Ducati, but Morbidelli, Alex Marquez. Alex Marquez finished 4th in the sprint. Let's see what he did in the race real quick, just to make sure I'm in the right spot. 4th and 7th. Morbidelli, man. I mean, I don't know. He's like, I mean,
World Superbike.
yeah. I mean, I tried. I mean, for 2 years easily. Like the first after he left for Yamaha, I was like, yo, to give this guy a chance, give this guy a chance. But I don't want to say he's like a disgruntled employee, but like you're not helping the cause. I mean, like Digia, like he's like, I need a contract, get on the podium, right? Morbidelli is just like, let me just get in the way.
Top 10.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You know, you stayed on a 24 bike, like, you know, like, and Furman is on a 24 bike, and we see, and Furman is injured, and we see what he's doing on a 24 bike. So I don't, is that a head case kind of thing? I mean, like, is you know, is there a gypsy just moving from one rider to the next where they just put him in a fog? Because, you know, we saw it with Fernandez. I mean, you know, Morbidelli looks like he's happy and he feels good, you know, and I've been told by bosses I don't have urgency in my voice. So I'm not saying he has to have urgency in his voice to know what the situation is. But is this a guy that's just waiting to finish out a contract and just saying, okay, I'll go to World Superbike next year?
Pretty much. I think that's where it comes to.
Hurt.
You can start with TJ and then Reese follow up. What are your thoughts, man, on Morbidelli and Alex? I know I ranted more on Morbidelli because it's just like, I was rooting for this guy, man. But now you just, you know, the season's still young, but, you know.
Not for him.
Yeah. I think Morbidelli is, I think it's just a VR46 that's just trying to hold on to him. I don't know. But like, I think his World Superbike time, he might be doing something else on the side and can't focus on MotoGP, whereas I don't know, he just can't keep the pace. Like something's up where, you know, like he's here, there, some races he's showing himself, some races he does some bonehead stuff, and it's just very inconsistent. Like last year he had a chance to be very good, but he did a lot of bonehead stuff to cause that. And I don't know, it's just time. As far as Alex, I think they're both just in a fog. I don't know what the fog is, but you know they just can't keep the pace up like they did last year. But definitely trying to root for Alex to get back to. I don't know if it's because whatever Mark does. I don't know. Like Mark is I think a huge reference for him last year.
Right.
So.
But I mean, it got to be this. I mean, you would think that's the same. What are your thoughts, Reese?
Yeah, for Morbidelli, man, it's just time to go. It's time for, you know, different pastures, and time to just move on and try to redeem yourself into another series, because just MotoGP ain't it. It ain't it for you, bro. It's time to take old Yeller out back and put him out put him out the pasture. Let it go, man.
You know,
because you just ruining your career.
Right. Is it? I mean, you know, some people lose the factory seat and feel like, you know, they're not the same. It's like, you know, some NBA players, you know, they don't want to come off the bench. They'd rather leave the NBA.
That's like a LeBron right there. But I mean, it could be. I mean, I don't know, man. He really wasn't even doing nothing in the factory seat. The same position he's in on VR46 is the same position he's finishing in on factory. So what are you really doing? Like, you lost the factory, but you're still doing the same exact crap. So
I mean, he was injured
maybe
in
it's
the
just
factory, but he's not injured now.
So what's the difference?
We got to point it out for the audience, man. I can't afford all the bodyguards you need.
I mean, there's really no difference, man. I'm sorry. I was just like, yo, after a while, man, you gotta think. I keep paying you this money as an owner. I keep paying you this money, whether it's 300,000, 400,000, $1 million, whatever. I'm just paying you to hold a seat up. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah. What am I paying you for? You know, and Digi over here is doing work. He wanted a bigger contract, and he's putting in the work for it. So what are you really doing? You know, so it's just maybe it's time to go and try something else. Maybe he'll be better on a production bike and not a prototype.
Right. No, it's interesting. Some guys can be handed the keys, or women can be handed the keys to the kingdom, and lose it all, and other people who have to struggle. Because Digia, he was on his way out with Grassini, right? And the man had to literally win a contract, right? And now you see him getting the 26 bike, and here's a guy that kind of, you can't get you can't have a better mentor than Valentino Rossi. And be able to ride for him on his team bikes and stuff like that in Moto 2. And it didn't happen for MotoGP though, but he eventually came over. But still, it is odd for Morbidelli. So I not to say I hope he's going through something and it gets sorted out, because the dude's a talented rider. So but sometimes you're in a fog, and it is what it is. Let's talk about KTM and Honda. Diego Moreira is looking good. Marini's looking good. He's starting to get better. Mir with the crashes, Zarco with the crashes. Zarco, I feel bad for Zarco too, because it's like, you had the French, and then Silverstone last year, you were getting some pole. I think he got a pole position too and stuff like that. And then it's just kind of like he's in the weeds now. What are your thoughts on Honda? And then we'll dive into KTM and World Superbike.
I mean, I think Honda's doing pretty good. Luca Marini finished fifth in the sprint. Mir did crash, but I think he rejoined, but he didn't get any points. But yeah, it's still in the back. Like Zarco ninth, squeezed 1 point out. But Luca Marini's doing a lot better than Mir. Like Mir still can't finish a Grand Prix for the life of him.
Right.
And I know he can pull out good results, like he showed it in qualifying. And then just maybe we need more rain races for Zarco to wake up. I think it just takes a couple of Grand Prix for these guys to wake up. I don't know. When they feel like they don't have a shot, then they start doing really well. I don't know. But
Right.
I think Honda is still improving, even though they didn't have the best results this weekend.
Yeah.
And I forget what the other part of the question was.
We'll talk about KTM, but we'll get Reese's thoughts on it, and then we'll jump into KTM. Marini right now is 10th in the championship, so Honda's in the top 10. Granted, all the Aprilias are in the top 8, 7. Pretty crazy. What are your thoughts, man, on Honda? And they give us away some contingencies, man. So they might be hiring, man.
Congratulations, Aprilia. I mean, it's about time you showed up to the big dance.
Yeah.
But with Honda, my question is with Honda, what the hell is Joan Mir's crash budget? God, that boy will crash a bike. Man, that budget's got to be out astronomical. He can't be making no money. They just pay it.
Right.
But Moreira, I mean, he's very impressive as a rookie. So I will definitely give him that. Luca Marini is coming around. So he's coming off. I know he was coming off an injury, so he's coming back strong, and so he looks really good. Zarco, I don't know. Maybe they just lost their way on that end on the Castro. They just lost their way a little bit.
Yeah.
They're just trying to figure something out, because I think they got the new bike, right? I think they got a factory bike.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they could have just lost their way a little bit. They just got to figure it out from what they had to now. Just figure it out. I mean, he did look impressive. I mean, I was very impressed that he did. He was I think it was the regular race. He crashed out, but he still kept going to get data.
Mm-hmm.
He was in complete last, but it was good to see him. He was running a good pace. Like if you looked at his pace, he was still up there in the top 12, top 10 pace. So I mean, there's just little things he could, like you say, he could just have mental breakdowns just like anyone else. And like I said, it was a scorcher out there, so that plays a factor too in the heat, the rain. So, I think they'll pull it together.
Yeah, I will say I think Mir has a good shot of getting on a podium, before the rest of them, because that's what he's fighting for when he's crashing. I think it was top 5, 6 or something like that when he crashed out or something. So he's been.
He was top 5, and I was watching. I was like, damn, Mirror's all the way up there. And it was funny because as soon as I saw it, I was like, give him about three laps, he'll crash out. Sure enough, I heard a Mirror crashes. Told you. I was like, it's coming. He'll crash out one of these sooner or later.
Yeah. So, it's hard. I mean, again, hopefully he'll find his rhythm because he is a nice rider. I think they should keep him as well and stuff like that. Let's talk about KTM because now Bastianini's thrown himself in the mix with Pedro Acosta now on the KTM. And I gotta kind of apologize to Maverick. I mean, the man is training so hard, he's shaking screws out his body. I mean, this is, I mean, when was the last time you heard somebody, loosening screws in their shoulder?
Maverick, it's time for him to say bye-bye and retire. It's time to go home. Take your ball and go home.
Did he train too hard in the off season?
Nah, he just Maverick.
Wow, come on.
I lost a lot of love and respect for Maverick when he is very inconsistent and he was over on the blue.
Okay. All right. He might be one of the first ones to know something was wrong. I could not take. He did know something was wrong. He just
everybody knew something was wrong, but even he put a statement out saying that he did wish he never left Yamaha. He wished he would have stayed. Yeah. So that tells you right there that he wished he would have stayed.
Right.
But hey, you just wanted to be a little child and do dumb stuff and blow the bike up, whatever. So it is what it is.
Me and Chuck. So Chuck's 50 bikes down the road. He almost destroyed an engine. I mean, I don't know. But I don't want to take away the shine from Bastianini because he's, we gave him a lot of flack last year, more you guys than I did. He seems to be coming around, getting quicker to the front. It's possible, maybe by the summer break, this guy could be, him Acosta could be top 5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm convinced that these KTM riders, that none of them talk to each other. I mean, I don't know how much teammates talk to each other, but I'm convinced that they're just out there just in their own world because it's just Bastianini's back. Is that what we're saying? I mean, like
he at least got the B and the A. I don't know if he got the CK yet. He got the B and the A now. He's
I mean, you got Pedro Acosta, like his attitude is like, I don't know, it's changed a little bit. Like he's very snappy, like the way he answers things. Like I don't think he's really happy, but he's gonna ride hard. And Bastianini, I feel good. I feel happy that he got on the podium. I feel like he definitely needs to get back in his own ways. He's been struggling a lot lately, so it'd be good to see him back up there fighting in the top there. And Maverick, I mean, I feel bad that he has a loose screw that does stuff, but like now, what's your timetable? Like, it's like another month, and I don't know if you're gonna have the training with the same guy again. So I don't know. And then Bender is just Bender.
I will say Maverick last year was the fastest KTM until he got hurt. He might have sparked the fire under Acosta to do something, and now Bastianini's the second year on the KTM, and maybe they're figuring something out. Yeah, I mean, I think Ducati, when they had 8 bikes on the grid, it seems like all the riders communicated, and it seemed like that is the best way moving forward. And I don't know if Aprilia is doing it and KTM is not. But it's good to see. It's good to see Bastianini up there because I do think these guys are talented and deserve it. Let's talk about World Superbike, man. I mean, and then it was it's pretty crazy. One and two Ducati all weekend. Oliveira on the BMW. I mean, if Lewis was here, he'll just say he had the hometown bump. But Portugal had over 80,000 people come out to World Superbike, the biggest number since 2015. Bahrain. Is it just because of Oliveira? Is it because World Superbike is back? What do you guys thought of World Superbike? And I know Reese was at COTA, so I don't know if you got a chance to watch it yet. What are your thoughts, man?
No, I thought World Superbike was really good. I mean, I only pretty much saw the big bikes, but yeah, I mean, the same finishers for all three races. I think top five actually was the same.
It
Uh,
might have been. I only looked at top
uh,
three, but make me want to look
yeah,
now. Go ahead.
but yeah, it's just this right now. It's the Bootlegger show. It was really good to see Equal Lackawanna out there fighting, and definitely Miguel had a extra couple horsepower as his home track, and I thought it was pretty cool to see him actually get on the podium and please his fans. So I feel like every time we went to Portimao with the GPs, either hurt. One time Marquez hit him, and
He
so
won the first one.
with that,
I said he did win the first one when they returned. Uh,
yeah.
when they got back on the GP calendar. But no,
Besides that.
I think it was 20. I don't know, 16, 17. I would have to look it up. But they did a thing on it. That's the only reason why I know. What are your thoughts, Reese, man, on the World Superbike? Oliveira, these guys, the turnout, 1 and 2. I mean, you heard TJ say it's the Booliga show. Ika is saying I'm only 2/10 behind this mofo, so oh no, I'm coming. No. All right.
Nah, I mean, I saw a little bit of it. I did get a chance to watch it a little bit, not all of it. But I mean, the stuff I watched, I mean, it seemed like the Bulliga show. It should be the Bulliga show the whole season. Um, like Lewis will tell you, I mean, being in front of the home fans will give you that extra boost, that extra horsepower. So that does boost up Miguel Oliveira.
Mm-hmm.
And he has no one there to target him in fixation and run into him. So so I mean, he better do something because this is at the end of the line here. But being in front of your home crowd gives you a big boost. I mean, you got to go back to GP. Look at Joe Roberts. Joe Roberts ended up in 9th in Moto 2.
Yeah.
And that's in front of his home crowd. So he normally ends up 14th, 15th. So being in front of your home crowd has a big play in it. It gives you a big boost and a big jolt of energy and say, I want to do this and I want to be more aggressive. So, congratulations. I mean, it's just like I said, it's all the same top guys, the top players. They're always going to be there. And, it is, unfortunately, it is Bulaga's, championship to lose.
Okay. I'll go with that. But I think Ika's coming. I mean, I think Ika's sitting here like, man, I was a nicer rider than you, Moto 2. I'm coming. I'm coming. And to go from 6th to 7th in the first round to be like, okay, I'm behind you now. And he had to fight through the pack a little bit. I think that halfway through the season, I think it's going to be close. I don't know if Bulliga can't make it. Well, like any sport, Bulliga I think it's going to be really close. From what he's showing this year. And even not even see Montella is another rider on a Ducati. Sam Lowe's on a Ducati is another guy that's showing some pace as well. So I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that's going to be Bulliga because these guys are seeing that, okay, if we put it together, we might be able to get there.
Time will tell.
No doubt there. Let's talk about before we wrap and get out of here. And I want to give you enough time because you have some stuff you want to get off your chest, Reese. And we'll go World Superbike and some of the Moto 2 stuff. So what happened in Coda, man? What's going on, man? I mean, you're being noticed.
I mean, it was nice to be out there and get a couple, get some people saying that they saw, they recognized me from the podcast and stuff like that, and it was nice. So to everybody out there, we appreciate all the love and respect. And, keep following and keep watching. We'll make sure we have some good stuff on here for you. So that was actually kind of nice.
But that's it.
But no. But everyone out here, man, listen, to everyone out here, and I'm going to say this from a respectful point of view and from an inside crew member, please, and this goes out to no disrespect to your riding level and riding skills, just please ride your own ride. do not try to think because you're buying a D4, an R1, a ZX10, or anything like that. Please do not think you are any of these guys out here on the track, any of the pro levels. Don't think that, I know that Ducati's come out with a Super Leggera and you guys want to buy it and you think it's everything under the sun that we use on the track, which it is, but it takes a skilled rider to get the maximum performance out of that thing. And if you don't know what you're doing and you try to go above, as my grandma would say, you ride faster than your angels are, you're not going to like the ending results. Tom Howerson that used to be here with Yamaha, he did a study on riders, and it was fact that the compression of your forks, the front forks, the average day street rider will compress their forks about 20 to 32%. That's it. 25 to 32%. The average day pro or semi-pro level track day rider will compress their front forks about 45 to 50% compressed. The average top guys on the pro circuit level from AMA, and we're talking about AMA, I'm not talking about GP level, that's a different line of level, from World Superbike to even whatever, they will compress their front forks about 98%. There is a big difference when you are trying to do this level. So I just strongly advise, just please stay within yourself and don't think that you're buying a bike, which is great, but just understand what you're buying. Because, Ducati's coming out here with carbon ceramic rotors and carbon fiber forks and carbon fiber swing arms and frames. It's nice, but understand what you are buying and getting yourself into.
Well, also, you're not getting the engineers that come along to set up the bike. You're just getting the bike and no engineers.
Right. At 247 horsepower at a race ECU. So just please understand what you're buying.
Yeah. No, I mean, we do love the comments, and we do this to entertain people and stuff like that, and we see it, and I think that the best way I can add to it is like do the research, I think, because sometimes folks comment. And I wonder if they've done any research at all, even looked us up any bit to see what we are, who we are, what we're doing, and stuff like that. Because 9 times out of 10, I think if you do the research, you'll see that we have an idea what we're doing and what we're talking about and stuff like that. And we can always agree to disagree, but it's always good to do the research first. Because it's kind of
it is. I've had people come up to me and say, "You sure you know what I'm talking about?" I'm like, listen, man, I've been here 12 years with Yamaha and, blessed to be on this side. And I've been riding since 04, been on the track since 08. So I've seen them come and go. I've had my amateur license. I've had, some fun times, and I still have it. But, being on the factory side and seeing a lot of things, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I see it, and it's like, man, slow down a little bit.
yeah. And as we talk about on the show, right? Because again, to go to your credibility, the business is such that if you're not good and know what you're doing, you're not there.
Right?
It's as simple as that. So it's that, but we do appreciate it. But I don't want to pay for a bodyguard for this guy. So take it easy on him. Ask him for a photo or something like that. And do buy, definitely buy the Ducati, because that bike does look nice.
For 160 grand, it can stay right there.
I would have to at least have a GT3 before I would get that. But it's cool, right? I mean, and I think we're at an age when motorcycling, with the collectors and getting these getting these one-off bikes or these limited production bikes. Before there was occasional, right? They're like anniversary bikes back in the day you were seeing, but now Ducati, MV Agusta, Triumph. I think even BMW is doing it to a degree now. Yamaha is starting to do it. Honda is starting to do it to a degree. They're starting to have
Even Aprilia came out with that X model they just came out with. Then they just launched again.
And so that's where it is. The model is, but you have to be on the track, and you have to I think if you haven't been club racing for what, I don't know, 2 to 3 years, you know what I'm saying? And that's minimum. But you'll see a lot in 2 to 3 years. If you're doing 10 rounds a year, hauling your bikes up and down, doing 4 to 6 races a weekend, and you got some regional titles, then I think it's fair to say you can have a conversation. But like track days, no disrespect to track days, folks, it's a whole different animal. I mean, it's one of my buddies and I, we will joke about playing ball and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna go big joke with Carmelo Anthony or some of these guys and think I can actually run with them. In my mind I could, but I'm not gonna sit here and go on their feed and tell them I can school them in the gym. I mean, I guess we've seen that too, because some of these guys are starting to play some players, but it's a different animal on the track.
Just
you can
do your research. That's it. Just do your research. Do your research on what you're buying and what you're riding, and what Rexy said. I mean, it's a different animal, but if you at least get out there to the track, you'll actually at least learn your bike. But it would make you that much of a sharper street rider than you imagine.
Right. And the crazy thing, man, we still see people that talk about, street riding is better than track riding or safer, or there's still people that just like, they don't get it. But, you can't really talk about track life if you haven't been
Never been on it.
It's like, one and done is not enough, because like my first 3 years, I still didn't know anything. You know what I mean? No. And so, but like once you get more immersed into it, you realize like, okay, yeah.
I had a guy argue with me saying that it takes more balls to be out on the street than it does on the track. No. I said, have you been on the track? I said, I was like, listen, I'm coming through. If there's that much room, I'm coming through.
I'm coming through. On the edge. On the edge of the tire.
Yeah. Not. It takes honest to God. I don't do it on the streets, but it takes nothing to dip through traffic on the streets on a bike in the straights. Maybe in some twisties. Right. That's what we can talk. But on the straight, I can do that all day. I can do that in my 250 and make room. Much less bike.
Like, if you've never been on the track, you have no idea what you're talking about.
But the track,
I don't know where on the street you can stay above 7,000 RPMs, basically. Like,
right, exactly. That's the other part of it. We're not trying to disparage street riders or anything like that, but you can't really talk about the track unless you really put some time in it. And then you'll get a better understanding. And most people everyone that's done it, like 3 to 4 years at the track that I've talked to, they talk differently than what I hear people comment on about the track that hasn't been to the track that much.
Right. I've had a guy walk by me at JP, and he saw this kid. This was his first. He was from Dallas, and he rode his bike from Dallas all the way down to Austin, and he was like, "Man, I thought I could ride." And he was like, "I've been riding for some years now." But he said the first time I saw these guys on the track, he said, "Yo, I can't ride for jack." Yeah. I was like, "It's a different level."
It is, and ego, whatever. I mean, I think, like I said, the people that are in it, we're more realistic of what we think of between street riding and track riding. And I love the street. I mean, I ride. I was just talking to TJ earlier. I'm like, I want to get back to riding every day on the street again, because I do enjoy it. But I'm not riding on the streets, trying to do 160. That's not the pleasure I get. And it's, we had Eric Wood on the other day, and talking about street riding versus track riding, and just the different the obstacles that are on the street. And whether it's worth it or not. I mean, for some people it is, and they not even. It's I'm not trying to turn that show into that, but it's not, because I've seen podcasts of other people that they're talking about how many friends they've lost, from the street riding. So You know,
And I don't want to do that. I've been in this industry too long, and I just want to see it keep growing, get back to where it was, and I just want to. I enjoy meeting new people out there. I go to bike nights, and I still enjoy the street as well. I still enjoy. I mean, I enjoy it for what it is. The street. You go have fun, go to get something to eat, go ride around with your buddies, or go to a bike night. But I also enjoy the track life. Track life is where I can let loose and not worry about a car, not worry about anything. If I do happen to go down, I know EMTs is right there on the scene. But I actually go out there and I can actually push my bike to the actual limit a little bit, not to the fullest limit, but I can get out there and push it.
Find
Yeah.
limits.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Get to that
limits.
point, but like they'd be like, "Oh, I ain't doing that again."
and I was saying this before we get out of here. I was talking, it's like you may not crash as a rider or a person in a car, but you can cause someone else to crash. You know what I'm saying? And I remember as a kid riding around doing foolishness as well. And I remember we caused other people to crash because they were paying attention to us. You know what I mean? And so, you may go home and ride safe all the time and get home all the time, but you can cause an accident with someone else because of what you're doing. And that matters too,
Yep.
So, it is, that's the last of it. I'll add for tonight. Lewis isn't here to talk about the scores. I don't know if I can, do I have the scores I can show? I think
Yeah, man, you better have them scores. You better have them scores.
Lewis got a DNF because he didn't pick last week. So.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, come on! I didn't
totally
take the lead that bad.
He pulled a Jawan Mir.
Aprilia, baby. if Agura didn't crash out on Sunday, man, it would have been further. This is just for, I believe it's just for this round. It's not for the whole thing. I'll get the whole tally up. You can see the whole tally here.
That's the whole tally.
So 171. TJ got 144, and Reese is at 1. I got to maximize my screen.
157.
Yeah. So
Let's say, how's Lewis gonna catch up? We're gonna have to get a DNF.
Exactly. It might be.
He's gonna have to get perfect results.
Well, our race direction is similar to MotoGP. The rules change every week.
Subject to change.
So now that we know that somebody could miss a round, they might have to give us their predictions ahead of time. We'll get a DNF.
The new rule starts now.
So we'll see. We got some time off. Well, you don't, Reese, and I don't, because I'll see you in a few weeks in Road Atlanta.
I got 2 weeks, man. I'm heading up. I'm actually heading that way now. I'm in the West Coast, so I'm heading east.
Nice. So we'll definitely keep it locked with more podcasting for sure. But we got a little time off for MotoGP and World Superbike. But my name is Rex45. It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. I want to thank Reese from Attack Yamaha, TJ from Two Wheels and Coffee. Peace.
Peace.